Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I'm Andy Schiffer, the Director of Marketing here at Saving Nature, and I'm joined by our Executive Director, Erin Willigan. We're gathered to talk about one of the most extraordinary and urgent conservation efforts happening right now, saving the Leuser ecosystem in Sumatra, the last place on Earth where rhinos, tigers, elephants, and orangutans still roam together. At Saving Nature, we work to restore and reconnect fragmented ecosystems, creating vital wildlife corridors that allow species to move, thrive, and survive. We don't just restore land. We work with local communities, scientists, and conservation leaders to rebuild nature where it's needed most. In Sumatra, we partner with Rudi Putra's organization, Forum Konservasi Leuser, FKL, since 2018 to fight habitat destruction and human and wildlife conflict by reestablishing migration routes and dismantling illegal palm oil plantations. Together, we protected nearly 3,000 acres of rainforest and are working to complete a crucial corridor that will ensure safe passage for Sumatra's endangered wildlife. But we don't do this alone. Conservation is about people, and today we have the honor of speaking with someone who has dedicated his life to this mission, Rudi Putra. Rudi Putra is a force of nature, a biologist, conservationist, and Goldman Environmental Prize winner. He has spent decades fighting to protect Sumatra's forests. He leads one of the most ambitious and impactful conservation efforts in Indonesia, combating illegal palm oil plantations, restoring damaged ecosystems, and protecting critically endangered species like the Sumatran rhino. But Rudy's work isn't just about protecting wildlife. It's about defending communities and ecosystems. The Leuser ecosystem is not just a rainforest, it's a lifeline for over 4 million people who depend on its rivers, forests, and biodiversity for survival. Despite constant threats, from illegal logging to corporate deforestation, Rudy has worked with local law enforcement, government officials, and even plantation owners to reclaim and restore land. Thanks to his leadership, over 1,200 acres of illegal plantations have been shut down, and wildlife that has vanished is returning. Today, we're going to hear directly from Rudy about his journey, the challenges he faces, and why protecting the Leuser ecosystem is one of the most urgent conservation battles of our time. Most importantly, we'll discuss how we all can help ensure this rainforest and its wildlife has a future. Please join me in welcoming Rudi Putra. Let's get into it. Are there many wildlife research projects underway in your area? Dale Steele wants to know.
Yes, we put the uh, camera trap in this area, and we got a lot of animal, especially with sun bear, elephant, tiger, and so many bird. So we, as the local NGO in Aceh, we not focusing for the research, but we invite the student from the university or the research institution to do research in this area because as the our focus still for the protection, so that's why very difficult to make another focus. But will be safe for us if we invite another institution to do research in this area. And some of the local students doing a research with using the analysis of the camera trap or the field monitoring. But we prepare the some of our staff monitor for the wildlife, especially for the bird. And and then we always record what the animal in the corridor and so many deer in this area. And yeah, and especially also of the bird, because this is lowland forest, and always in the lowland forest, the number of the biodiversity, especially in the bird, is significantly higher than in the highland.
Wow, that's great. Dale says student and community research opportunities sound like a great opportunity. And a lot of people have been privately messaging me asking about immediacy, like how can we help right now? Which brings me to my next question, which is for someone listening today, what's the most immediate way they can help protect Leuser?
With many things, yes, even with the small thing, if everyone with the social media, if everyone can talk about Leuser, about the forest, will be helpful for us. And Leuser is not popular in many countries in US or Europe. Even we have the can be 3 times of the Yellowstone National Park. So our forest is much bigger in elsewhere in the world. But the answer is not popular. What I want, the answer should be 3 times popular than Yellowstone or the Yosemite and anything. If the people care about the Leuser, that means so many attention in here will bring a lot of people in here, and then significantly we increase our local communities benefit from the tourism. So this is one important thing, and another thing can be donations, can be uh, yeah, promote the user, and yeah, I'm sure all the people is cannot direct uh, attract to user, but from the social media, from the donation, this is very important for us. And we just received the bad news from the U.S. government that they stopped the funding for the through the U.S. aid, and then this is a big impact for us. So we have to try to propose to another donor how we can filling the gap in from the US aid money. So this is one example how international donation and support is very important for user.
Wow. Okay, so that bring that on that note, could I go? I'm gonna go back one question real quick. If someone today is deciding right now whether to donate, what would you say to convince them that their support truly makes a difference?
Um, so 2 minutes, the big team, this is very difficult for us. So we have the 500 staff now. Most of them in the field. There's only less than 10% our staff in office. And to patrol one team, we need at least around the 25 thousand US dollar per year per one team. And then we restore a lot of forest right now. It's around the 12,000 forest, 12,000 hectares forest now we restore in last few years. So to keep this work, we really need the support for donation, and uh, very difficult to find it from the Indonesian donor because this is small and seem like very little of the companies or the rich person in Indonesia care about the nature because so many another important thing that they said for the people, social and another. So international donation is important because this is around 99% of our activities from the donation overseas. So manage this team and then to complete the corridor. That's also important for us because the corridor is not complete yet, and we need to work until this corridor is worked well, and then and we can build another alternative in this area. So this is important thing for us, Andy.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to my next question because I want to give end with a little bit of hope before we answer some of the questions in the chat. If we succeed in saving Leuser, what does the future look like in 10 years? What's your vision uh, for this rainforest?
I'm sure we will save the Leuser, and I'm optimist, no? And yeah, from the number of deforestation and the forest regrowth, the population increase, and a lot of communities know care about the nature. We work with the 12,000 farmer now in Leuser, around the Leuser. This is a big number. We increase them with education, how they manage their plantation is good from the palm oil, cacao, or coffee. And but in another side, they care for the nature now. So if we can increase the number of the families work with us, I'm sure Leisure become a grid, become restored, and the population will grow. And I'm optimist. And then please, anytime if we have time, maybe in next 10 years, please visit to Leisure and see what the difference between now and 10 years later. And for rhino, this is I think, a good thing. I think the optimistic. Um, Rhino right now becomes extinct in another location, but in Leuser they are become. I'm optimistic. We have the big number of the rhino in near future if we still keep these activities well. And also for the elephants, so many babies now, and we construct the fencing for the elephants, and there is the harmony between the elephants and then communities, and I'm optimist.
It's good to have the optimism nowadays. It's important, and coming from you on the front lines, hearing that optimism is very encouraging. Um,
Yeah.
my last question before I open it up to questions for the floor, is if the audience could walk through the Leuser ecosystem today, what would they see? What would they hear? And what would they feel?
Oh, I'm sure you will cry because Leuser is beautiful, and we have the several stations in the deep of forest. You can imagine you stay in that station and you can feel how the nature in your body, how the bird singing, and this is very noisy with the animal. And in the midnight, you can hear how beautiful of the sound of the water from the river. This is beautiful, beautiful. I don't think I can live without a Leuser. So in my work, this is only few days in our office. The rest almost in the field. How I can interact with the local communities, with the forest. This is beautiful. Please visit to Leuser, and I'm sure you will cry. This is beautiful. I don't see another location like on Leuser. Even good forests in US and increasing the forest in China and everywhere. But this is much different than Leuser because this is noisy with the animal, with the air, with the beautiful, with the winds. And this is incredible place.
Wow, Rudy, I want to thank you so much for your time and answering my questions. I wanted to really quick point out that you could donate to Rudi at savingnature.com/donate-Sumatra. And I wanted to ask some questions real quick that people wrote, and feel free to type questions in the chat you have to Rudi. Dale Steele wants to know, can you or Saving Nature document how the loss of U.S. aid funds is impacting local communities and critical resources? These examples can be used to push for reestablishing this type of funding. Rudi?
Yeah. So this funding very important for us to complete the corridor and build the area for the restoration in this area, and we build the community's livelihood, and also for the protections of the area. I think this is crucial for us, and we optimists in next few years we can see what's different. Um, we start this program in 2018, so 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and in next 10 years, we can see how the elephant cross the corridor, and we can monitor them. We put the GPS collar in each group of elephants, and we can monitor where they are. And this is also very important for the local because this is as the early warning system that we will. And if the elephant close to the local communities, that's easy to us to push back them to the forest. So thanks, Saving Nature to initiate this work.
Well, thank you so much, Rudi. I just wanted to thank you and everyone for joining. Rudi and all of us at Saving Nature are here to answer any questions you have, so feel free to reach out to us anytime. You could donate again at savingnature.com/donate-Sumatra. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. And I wanted to thank you guys so much for coming and for considering helping out. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. And thank you, Rudi, more importantly.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thanks for your support.
Have a good one. Have a good weekend, Rudi. Take care, everyone.